Take it away. Go for it.
Hello, passengers. We are preparing for landing. I was thinking about doing a spiel.
Right.
I'm not going to do a spiel.
Okay, it's early. We're fine.
Yeah. So Sky Team is a fully cooperative 2-player game about landing a plane. We play as captain or pilot and co-pilot.
Hi. First officer.
We are going to be rolling dice and placing them out onto this wonderful dual-layer board in an attempt to finalize the landing procedure, bringing our flaps in, putting down the landing gear, getting our speed right, leveling the plane, and a couple other twists for the particular scenario that we're playing.
Okay.
The crux of the game really is that it's a no communication. We're going to be rolling our dice in secret, be placing them out one at a time, with no communication about the game. We'll probably be chatting.
Oh yeah, we'll shoot the breeze. Although, note, it is not allowed that during the final approach and landing for pilots to talk about anything that isn't regarding that. So we're going to be breaking FAA regulations.
We're not quite as well. We're not going to talk about the FAA.
So they've had a rough couple of months. All right, go ahead.
We are playing. For those who know the game, we're playing Atlanta, the green Atlanta. So we're going to be training an intern, and we're going to be playing on this approach path.
And on that note, ATL, they say it is so busy that when Jesus comes back for the second coming, he has to go through Atlanta. Just saying. Sorry, I'm messing him up.
That is it's funny because specifically in the rules, when it introduces the little paragraph, which I can read before we start, it talks about it being busy, and we're going to get 4 random planes out onto the track right at the top of the game.
Yeah, so it is insanely crazy.
Yeah.
How busy ATL is. Yeah.
I'm not going to do a full teach, but in essence, we're going to be going back and forth placing dice. I am the blue dice. Edward is the orange dice. You can only place a dice on spaces of your color, so I'll be placing on all the blue. You'll be placing on all the orange, and then there's a couple shared spots at the bottom for making coffee for each other, which is just a nice thing.
It really is. I mean, hey.
It could be tea. We can say it's tea in this.
No, coffee. No, trust me. If you're flying planes, you're going to need the coffee. Yeah,
my sleepy time tea won't do it for me.
No, not so much. Yeah.
We're going to be playing over 6 rounds as we descend to landing elevation. At the time we land, the time the game is over, we need to be at landing elevation, at the airport with no traffic. We need to have the plane level, and our combined speed needs to be less than this red marker, which currently I need to work on bumping that up a little bit. There's quite a few things that you need to do to make sure you win the game. Very easy to lose the game. Should the plane ever tilt so far out of balance one way or the other by placing dice on these 2 spaces, which we'll talk about the first time it happens, we lose. If we forget to put a dice here, 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 or here on any turn, we lose. If we ever need to advance this track and we run through a plane, we lose. If we get to, in the Atlanta module, if we get to landing and everything else is done and we have not fully trained the intern, we somehow lose. All the souls landed safely, but we lose. There's a lot of ways things can go wrong. So, in short, the 4 required spaces every round are leveling the plane.
Attitude.
Attitude and
pitch.
altitude.
No, that's pitch. Attitude. Yeah, I think it's attitude, right. And no, I used to work on smaller versions.
Yeah, I was about to say,
these, but
not a 747.
No, not so much.
When we place dice here, we will find the difference between them and move this dial that many steps towards the higher dice. So if it's a 5 and a 4, we're going to go 1 space towards the 5.
Which 2 in either direction is fine, right?
Yes, but as soon as we tick to the X,
okay, so it makes sense to maybe early. Maybe. I'm just throwing that out there, like maybe. Because flexibility.
Yeah, we can care. This needs to be level when we land. On this particular map, there's no banking requirements.
Yes.
We almost played Haneda, where we need to come in around Mount Fuji.
Right.
That has some very specific banking.
This is not an early scenario, right?
This is scenario number 3.
3,
It's not one of the 2 introductions.
Yeah.
It's the first one, or 4. It's the first one that has a it has the intern.
Okay,
There's the
got
one before this that has the fuel leak, which is just I find quite challenging, and I like the flexibility and challenge of the intern, so that's the one we're going to do. The second space we must play to is the engines. After both dice have been placed, we're going to sum them up and see where that sum lands on this track. If it is less than where the blue marker is, in this case 2, 3, 4, we will not move. We're slowed down.
Okay.
If it's in between the two, we will advance 1 space on this track. And if it's above the orange, we're going to advance 2 spaces.
Okay.
In that moment, if we run into a plane, we lose.
Okay. And meaning the plane is right there,
Yeah,
right?
and it would slide off under the board. as we move closer.
and then nope, not gonna make the joke. Then there's a collision.
Then something bad happens.
Right. Okay.
We have a method to remove the planes, which is calling into the tower, which is this 1 space for me and these 2 spaces for you. You put a die there, and you starting this as space 1, you count out that many spaces, and you remove that plane. So if we wanted to get rid of, say, this plane, one of us would need to put a 5 in one of those spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Got it.
We each have our own separate landing requirements that adjust our speed.
Yep.
I am in charge of the landing gear. I need to put 3 dice here.
Gear down, so they're down and locked.
Yep, and every time I do that, it makes it harder for us to go fast and easier for us to go slow.
Because drag.
Because drag.
Right.
Same thing over here. You have requirements of putting the flaps in order.
Okay.
And in particular, you must place this one first, note this arrow, then this one, arrow, then this one.
Okay, all right. Got it. Okay.
Every time I put a die here and you put a die here, we're going to advance that color to the advance
right.
it along the track to the right.
So it makes it easier to slow down because...
But this is quite
drag.
a long track.
It is, so maybe we don't do that
We
too
do need to
early.
make up 1 space. We can't just go 1 space at a time here. We need to make that up.
So in other words, we want to maybe early get there.
Get there. Yeah. Get along.
Okay, all right, yeah.
I have a specific requirement of working on the brakes. So this is every time I put a die here, 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 again in order per the number requirement. This red marker will advance, which will make it easier for us to land and be under speed, because in the final round, as noted here, when we're at the airport, it's the symbol,
Yep.
our combined speed doesn't check this track. It needs to be at or under the number along
Wherever
the
that is.
Exactly.
And that, what changes that number?
Me going here.
So the 3, so you do that one, it moves to there.
Yeah,
Got it.
exactly.
Okay, yeah.
At the bottom of the board, we have a couple 2-colored spaces. This is where we can make coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee lets us add 1 or take 1 away from the value of the dice. Make it easier. You can use them at any time and in multiples at once. So if you desperately need a 2 and all you have is a 5 and there's 3 coffee,
I can
whoop, and
pound
here we
it
go.
and here we go. Okay. All right.
In this scenario, the Atlanta green scenario adds 2 wrinkles. 1, we have more traffic coming in. So every turn we start, and there are black dice here, we're going to roll this that many times and add those planes to the track. So in this case, let's say I rolled the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to put a plane right there.
Oh.
So we need to get away from this. We'll talk about the strategy in a second.
Yeah.
The second thing that the Atlanta Green adds is training the intern. You can put any die there, and I can put any die there, so long as it is equal to the next intern tag following in. So I can put anything but a 4 here.
Okay.
I can then go place this anywhere I want, and it is a 4.
So that's okay. So that
I do that.
It's now a 2, or you turned a 2 into a 4.
And I take this tag and I put it anywhere, and it is a 4.
And by anywhere you mean anywhere you're allowed.
I believe it's anywhere.
Oh, so you can place on my side
I believe.
theoretically?
Let me check. That's
Okay.
a good
Yeah. Okay.
Any space that you'd normally be able to place.
Okay, so you're
mine
blue, mine orange.
So,
okay,
and
got
specifically, the tag will go up, go to that spot, be used, whatever, then it'll be gone. And then the next time I play here, I'm attacking this 1. So this can be anything but a 1.
And I'm coming at it from the other direction.
We
okay.
need to have all of these tokens removed from this board by the time we land.
Yeah, but that's kind of glorious. It gives us some flexibility.
It's very specific flexibility. That's why I wanted to do this one instead of the oil
that makes
leaf,
sense.
Which,
yeah.
You know, hey, listen, we've never played this together, so we'll see how the chemistry gets.
Yeah. Oh no, I have faith.
That is the last thing. Actually, we have a reroll. This token here, and we're going to get another one at 2,000 feet. At any time, and again, we cannot talk about the game state, you can just say, I'm going to use a reroll. If you say it, you must reroll 1 or more dice.
Okay.
When you say it, I can reroll 0 or more dice.
You were not required. I can't force you to re-roll
No,
yours.
I could be happy, but if you're like, I have a bunch of 6s.
And you're like, oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
That token will go. When we come into 2,000 feet, we'll get another one.
Okay, and if we hadn't used the other one, then they stack?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Who places first is determined by the altitude track, so it'll be me, then you, then me, then you, based on the color, and in theory, pointing to this, my side of the board,
Okay,
that
cool.
side of the board.
Okay.
That's about it if you want to pull up.
Yeah, sure. And now, the reason I have my angle is so y'all can see this here to start
So this
with.
is inside our little screen where you roll the dice so we keep them private from each other. We must place on the speed, and we must place on the altitude, or the pitch of the plane.
Yeah.
We
No,
have to
pitch.
place there every turn, otherwise we lose immediately.
Attitude.
Attitude. Sorry.
Pitch is up and down.
It also has some reminders about when you place in a landing gear, flaps, and brakes that you move those tokens.
Now, okay, what is the speed telling us there looking at that? It says you add the speeds.
You add the speeds. If it is, you see where it's dark next to the blue?
Yeah.
If that number is less than blue, you're not going anywhere.
Oh, I see it, and I see the little black mark.
Yep.
So right there means you're not going anywhere. If it's in between, you go 1.
Put out any die. It doesn't matter. We can do an example.
Sure, we'll do that.
So we'll sum these up. 5 and 2 is 7. Right now, as soon as you put that die down, we're going to move 1.
So this will literally, does it mean that happens right away?
Right in that moment.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yep.
Got it. Okay, all right. We ready to do this?
We are.
I guess final turn, right?
Yeah,
We
so
all
this is,
step
as a
through.
reminder, for us to
yeah.
win, all these things must be true at the end of the final turn. We have to be at the airport here with no planes on it, clear
Okay.
runway.
Checks out.
We will be at altitude. This tracks automatically. All of these must be flipped. All of these must be flipped.
Okay.
And our combined speed must be less than
Whatever that number is, so that we can, stop.
And the plane must be level. And in the instance of this particular scenario,
We also have to have the
Trainee.
intern, the trainee. Okay. And Chip says you get more planes
Yep.
added when you taxi to a new place. Space with a
if
die.
we start a turn,
Yeah.
let's say here in the
Yeah.
future, we're going to roll this die and add a plane.
Yeah.
Same here, same here. If we roll a number that's beyond the end of the track, they just add the airport.
Okay.
So now that we're here, and we've talked about that.
Yeah.
This is unavoidable.
Right.
We probably, I'd rather not add a plane, so maybe we can try to double move to skip over that one
Oh.
as a thought.
Okay. Good to know. And so talking to ATC gets rid of planes.
Yep, talking to ATC. So if I wanted to get rid of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right. Cool.
It's missile command. Down goes the plane.
Yeah.
Ceasar Roman 20 minutes, 2-player game. We are going to be putting out our little control tokens,
Yes.
our tokens that will be drawn from our bag. We will have a hand of them behind our screen in secret from each other.
Okay.
You will start playing as Ceasar. You're going to choose a token from your hand of X number behind your screen.
Yep.
There are 4 types of tokens. There are ships, there are shields, there are gladius, the sword.
Yep.
There's also laurels, which are wild.
Okay.
You're going to choose one of the tokens from behind your screen and put it out on a space matching its suit, I guess.
Okay, so face up or face down?
Face up.
Okay.
So I could say I'm going to take this shield and I'm going to put it in this spot, shield for shield.
Okay.
That center black line, you line up with the border that it's on, and now you're projecting influence into the 2 regions that it's touching.
Okay.
So we're going to go back and forth. Let's say I've done this. Give me a sword.
You may have my gladius. It is yours.
All right. So let's say we're competing here. You've placed this at another time.
Yep.
And I'm going to come in and say, all right, I'm going to place here, and I'm going to close this region. This bordered region here of
Got it.
Gallia,
Yep.
Cisalpina. No border regions left open. When you close a region, we check 2 things. 1, who placed the token to close it? In this case, that was me.
You.
I'm going to take this.
Okay.
What these are, reminder here,
Okay.
The vase is wealth, which means you immediately draw an additional token and your hand size goes up.
Okay.
Because then at the end of my turn, I'm going to draw another one.
Okay, got it.
We'll talk about the rest in a second.
Yeah, that's
the
fine.
second thing we do after it's closed, separate. So even let's say if you had placed it, you would take the token, but now we check who controls it. I have a value of 7, you have a value of 4. I control it.
Oh,
This game is a race to put out all 12 of your control markers.
Cool. Dig it.
In the future, let's say I've done that, and let's say I've done this, and I close this one. So I'm placing the final token to close Gaul, to close France.
Yeah.
I've placed it, so I'm going to take this.
Yep. Get whatever it is, right?
That's take a turn immediately after this one.
Okay.
I check. It is 4-2. I place a control marker here. Oh, I'm also adjacent to another region I control. I place a control marker there.
Whoa, wait, what?
If you take control after resolving the region token, I'm going to own this one. If you are adjacent to any other number of regions that are yours, you also place control markers on that board. It doesn't matter that your token's there. That token's done now. Because I'm building a contiguous group, I'm going to start placing out more and more of these. If I take this one, I'm going to put another token there. And there.
Oh, it's on your... Oh.
Because I control this.
So it's not covering mine, it's
simply connecting my two. I'm making my contiguous area.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, Yaka points out that's annoying. The board isn't north, south, up, down. Yeah. Here's Gibraltar, and there's Syria. Europe, Africa.
Oh, if that's the case, switch. I'll be Pompey. No, I'm serious. That's going to bother me.
Okay.
There we go.
Here are all the tokens.
Okay.
You want it to be north.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah. Okay. So that's one way to get them out. So let's talk about what the tokens do. I think the scroll was there.
You mean these here?
Yes, the province bonus tokens.
Okay.
And that one can go there, and then you take these back. So, tactics, the scroll. Immediately after you finish this turn, which will be draw a token from the bag to replenish, you take another turn immediately. You
Awesome.
skip my next
Scroll, there are, hold on, now that's going to bother me, so let's just fix all those, but there is one scroll. It ended up over there in Dalmatia.
There are 4 of each.
Oh, God, there are. I didn't even see them. I'm an idiot. Okay.
I think, maybe 5 of each.
Okay. 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 Yeah, they're over here. Yeah, I see them. Okay.
Let you take another turn.
Yep.
Might, which is the cross spears.
Yep.
You take an opponent's influence marker. These are influence markers.
Yeah.
And you flip it face down. I'm now projecting 0 into both of those.
And adjacent. Oh, wait. It says flip an opponent. It doesn't say adjacent. It's anywhere.
Anywhere.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Or control marker, which are these. So let's say I've taken that one.
Yeah.
And I'm threatening to take this one. You can flip that, and then I won't get my adjacency bonus.
Okay.
If I were, if I were
Yeah,
to take
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Keep going. We are not playing with Centurions or Poison. They're little mini modules you can include.
Okay.
They're extra tokens that do something else. We're not playing with it.
Okay, easy enough.
Wealth increases
we've
your hand
gotten-
size. Yep. The Senate is the weird one. It's the one I wrote the sticky note about.
Okay.
When you claim a Senate token,
Yeah.
if you also won the region, you take this, you put it here, and you put underneath it as many control markers as you have Senate tokens. So your first one, you get 1.
Second one, you get 2.
However, if you take one and you don't actually win the region, you simply take it and put it there, and you put nothing underneath it.
So it's a way of getting more of those markers out.
Exactly.
Right, got it. Okay, cool.
If placing a control marker also places, so you can win one and get nothing for it, but now let's say I win a third one, I'm going to put 3 underneath.
Yeah,
because
of that one. Yeah, when you do. Yep, got it.
Special thing to note, you can obviously see that Rome starts with a Senate token. Rome, taking Italy, Rome, the heart of the empire, also has a second one of these. When you take that, you put out 2 control markers.
Hey, thanks for watching, y'all. Hopefully you found it helpful, useful, enjoyed it, something along those lines. And if you did, maybe watch one of those other videos. Consider supporting us over on Patreon. And always like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. Thanks, y'all.